For research design, I wrote, this refers to the overall strategy utilized to answer research questions. So we call it research design because it's a strategy that we have put together to analyze or to find answers to our research questions or hypotheses. So there are 4 stages to research design. The first one is planning. And when we talk about planning, this is where the researcher decides on the strategy. This is the stage of what and how. So the kind of questions you want to, the type of question you want to ask, and the process through which you have to ask these questions. This is done through the planning stage, which is part of the research design. The second one is information gathering. And for information gathering, I wrote, this involves identifying sample to study, conducting an initial sample to study, which means who are those population that you want to, the targeted population. Then the initial pilot study, which is whether to carry on, which is simply the feasibility study, whether to carry on the research or not. That is pilot study. And the next stage is information processing. For information processing, I wrote, this explains that information must be analyzed and interpreted once the data is being put together. So as soon as you gather your information, then you have to process those information, because research is about gathering information. So once you have gathered this information, it has to be processed. And for processing, it means you have to analyze them. Analyze it and ensure that you interpret it. That is the third stage of design, research design. And the last one is evaluation. For evaluation, it involves both internal and external. For internal, it's all about if the research is appropriate. Have you done it the right way? Are you sure that you have not gone, or you have not used any unethical situation to put resources together or data together? Are you sure you have not invaded people's privacy? Are you sure confidentiality is there? Are you sure you have done the right thing in terms of legality? Then we have the external, which is the public opinion. So your evaluation is based on internal, which involves how you carry out your research, and external, which is about the public opinion. Is research design clear? Any question about research design? Good. So that takes us to research problem. For the research problem, it starts with the initial stage. So I wrote, at the initial stage, the sociologist will have to make decisions about the topic you want to research upon. Then there are some factors that will determine if you can actually go on with that research or not. So what are the factors? Number one, the personal interest of the researcher. So what's your interest? What do you really want? What makes you to want to do that research? It's one of the things you have to put into consideration. 2, the current interest in the topic, public opinion, and sociologist's view. So what are sociologists talking? What is the trend about that topic? The third one is the funding, the finance available. You need to talk about money too, because research involves money. So you have to understand how you're going to get your fund. And if you are expecting people to fund that project, do you think the financiers will have interest in that topic or not? That is funding. And the last one is the practical factor, which involves the accessibility of the respondent. Are you sure that those that you want to research upon, you have access to them or not? So that's also important. Any question about research problem? So that's about research design and research problem. Any question? Good.